guys, this is Christy Fulk from Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. In this Stamp With Me video, I'll be making a wreath card. I'll be mixing retiring Stampin' Up! Items with new catalog items from the new Stampin' Up! 2020-2021 annual catalog. The new items will be available really soon. They'll be available to purchase beginning June 3rd of 2020. If you like the retiring products I'm going to be using, you need to order as soon as possible. These items are only available while supplies last, so they could sell out quickly, or until June 2nd, whichever comes first. Okay, you ready to stamp with me? Let's go. Okay, this is the part of the video where I bring out all the supplies so you can see what you need. Then if you want to stamp the card with me, pause the video, go get your supplies, come back, and we can make the card together. The first two items I'm going to show you from the new annual catalog that comes out June 3rd. So if you can watch this video now and say you want to make the card with me later, like this video by clicking that thumbs up. It'll get put in your liked videos list and you'll be able to find the video a lot easier once you're able to have these in your hands. So you need the gold embellishment hoops, actually Gold Hoops Embellishments is the full name. And then the Greenery embossing folders, it's a 2-pack. And then the next 4 items are retiring, and these are available till June 2nd or while supplies last, whichever comes first. So you need to hurry because they could sell out quickly. The first frost stamp set, along with the frosted bouquets dies. Now these are not in a bundle right now, so you'd have to purchase them separately, but these are retiring. You also need the Perennial Essence Designer Series paper. This is just one of the sheets, and this is beautiful, and there's so many more beautiful sheets in this. And I do believe this is even on sale, so this is retiring. And then you also need the pearlized doilies, which are retiring. I love these. These might even be on sale too. I'm not sure if I remember that right or not, but they're pearlized on one side and then a matte white on the other. So on the matte side, you could color them any color you want. So I've loved using these doilies. Okay, you also need the 2-inch circle punch. This is available now and will be in the new catalog. Everything that I'm showing you here will be in the new catalog also. You need mini Stampin' Dimensionals. You need mini glue dots. You need multi-purpose liquid glue. And then an adhesive. I'm using Snail, which is retiring, but we'll have new adhesive coming out in the new catalog, and it's supposed to be even better than this one, so I can't wait to get that. Okay, and you also need some ink pads. You need the Blackberry Bliss, Petal Pink, Old Olive, and Fleur de Flamingo. Okay, now we need to get the cardstock and paper together. You need a piece of Petal Pink that's 8.5 by 5.5 inches. Another piece of Petal Pink that's 1 5/8 by 5 1/4 inches. Another piece of Petal Pink that's 3 1/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches. And then you need one more piece of Petal Pink that's just a scrap piece, but it's at least about 2.5 by 2.5 or larger. You need a piece of Old Olive, 3 inches by 4 inches. And then we need a few pieces of Whisper White. This is a 1.5 inch by 5 1/4 inch strip of Whisper White. This is an 8.5 by 1 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White. And last but not least, you need a 4 inch by 5 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White. Then you need a piece of the Perennial Essence Designer Series paper, which is 4 inch by 5 1/4. You'll need the 1 pearlized doily and 1 gold hoop embellishment. Okay, that's everything you need to make the card. Go ahead and pause the video now, go get your supplies together, and then come back and make the card with me. See you in a few minutes. Okay, we're back. Now we're going to start by stamping with this card. I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pierce mat, which I am happy to say is going to be available again. They were going to retire it. They sold out quickly, and they realized how important this was to everybody. Still needs these for their stamping. So it's coming back. They're waiting for a new shipment to come in, and I'll let you know as soon as it comes in. But this will be in the new catalog. It may not be pictured in the catalog, but you'll be able to purchase it on my online store. And if you have the item number, I can give that to you too when it comes out. It's actually the same item number it has now. So grab your 8.5 by 1 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White. Grab your Fleur de Flamingo ink pad and the largest flower stamp that's in the first frost set. And I love the distinctive look of this. Isn't that gorgeous? It gives you the dark and the light shading just with one stamp. Love that. Then we're going to grab the small flower and the petal pink ink pad, and you're going to want to stamp this one twice. Oops. Let's do it. Well, this one, let's turn it over. I want to make sure I get it about in the right spot. There we go. Love having two sheets because that's not going to cut right. Then we're going to need the old olive ink pad and the long leaf stamp. Now you'll see why I didn't have room to stamp the flower again on this side, because this one goes right there. So these all need die cut with some dies. Let me show you the dies that you need. You need the two little ones, which I'm so glad we have two, and you need the bigger flower, and then this one that die cuts the leaves. So those are all the dies you need from that set. And the neat thing with this, pretend I've got this stamped right. You'll be able to do this all in one fell swoop. The big one will line up like this. The little ones line up like this. You can do both of these at the same time. Let's pretend that this one is up higher, so this would be up here. Actually be on like that. And then hopefully you can stamp that. And this one I wouldn't be able to. If they're too close together, then go ahead and run those through. Then you can run this one through. This one I probably should have moved over a little bit more. But that one lines up like so. So that's how you die cut those. But before you get going with that, you might just go ahead and grab your old olive piece. And you can do your embossing while you're over there. And grab your other, see, this one's a 1.5 by 5 1/4 inch Whisper White piece. This one is going to go in this one. So you want to make sure it's straight and run it through your die cutting machine. And then this one, I wanted to have the leaves. See how it's got this empty space here? I want to have leaves on the bottom and the top. So you do it like so and run it through your die cutting machine. So get these die cutted and these embossed and come back and we'll get the rest of the card done. Okay, we're back. So I've got all these die cut. I'm going to throw these in here so I don't lose them. And I'm happy to say I was able to make that work even though I stamped it on the other side. Didn't have any problems, so I've got all of these. And I love being called First Frost. That lighter version makes it look like it's had some frost on it. Just, oh, they really did a nice job with this. I'm going to miss this stamp set. Then you've got this. And then these are what these look like. Isn't that neat? And then this one comes out like that. Okay, so we've got all of the die cutting and embossing done. We'll kind of put these over to the side. Actually, I want to put these die cuts over to the side. That's the last thing we're going to work on. So let's go ahead and grab our card base. And this is the 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of the petal pink. Fold it in half. Take your bone folder, like so. Then we'll grab your Designer Series paper. This is that 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. Grab some snail. So I even like that side. It's a neat texture looking effect. Brush stroke too. I'm going to stick that on my card base like so. Actually, I think I kind of like going, well, I guess it doesn't matter. Let's go this way. The flowers are going every which way. You can decide which way you want to put the paper on. Okay, now we are going to grab our petal pink strip. This is the 1 5/8 by 5 1/4, and this is going to go right across here. Since this is embossed, let's grab the multi-purpose glue. And you can even do the deboss side if you like that side better, whichever side you want to use. Get your glue on there. Now this one, the top and bottom edges are going to line up with the top and bottom edges of the petal pink because they're the same length. But you want to get it centered left to right. So you just have that nice narrow petal pink. I needed a little something, but I didn't want to make them too wide. So that's ready to go. And then this one goes on the, let's see, this is the petal pink that's 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. So we'll go ahead and put this on. It's matte. Okay. Center that. Now we can put these on the card. This one, since this is not embossed, I'm going to go ahead and use my snail again. And this one is going to go on like this. I wanted to have some leaves down here. Let's see, this is actually going to show, the bottom's going to show more than the top. So this one looks like it has a little bit more, so I'm going to have that one be the bottom. So you pick the one you like the best, get it over to the right, center it up and down, and make sure it's straight. There we go. I started to make it cockeyed. So that's on, and then we'll do the same with this. This one, since it's going on a little bit of embossing, I'm going to go ahead and use my glue again just to make sure it stays on. Snail works great with something that's flat, but when you're working with embossing, the glue actually does a little better. And this one's going to cover up the old olive just a little bit, but it's more to the left, and line up the top and bottom edges with the top bottom edges of the designer series paper. So that's ready to go. So we've got the card base. Now we're going to do the wreath. So let's grab the doily, and then grab your scrap piece of Petal Pink. You need your Blackberry Bliss ink pad. I grab my Stampin' Pierce mat again. I know this is a rubber stamp set, but I still love having my Stampin' Pierce mat because I think it stamps even better with it, even with the rubber. Stamp that, and then I'm going to punch it out with my 2-inch circle punch. Kind of get it kind of over top right, not really right in the center. I want more top right. That looks pretty good. So do it like that. That's ready to go. I think we're done. Yeah, we're done with the Blackberry Bliss for now. I think we'll be using that on the inside of the card. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to attach this to my doily. So I'm going to grab my silicone mat again because there are a lot of holes there. So I don't want it sticking where I don't want it to stick. Get this right in the middle. Oops. There we go. Make sure it looks straight and in the middle. If it's not perfectly straight, since this is a circle, you can always move it a little bit. And let's go ahead and put this on the card base. So I'm going to put even more, even though there's some glue sticking out, I'm going to put more there. And I'm making sure, I don't know if you noticed, I stayed within the punch circle. Almost forgot to mention that. You don't want to go on the outside. And I went ahead and used snail because this is kind of flat here, so it'll attach with no problem. And I kind of wanted it up a little bit. I don't want it centered because I'm going to be putting flowers down here. So move it over here and put it up just a little bit, like so. And hold it down. Okay. Now we're going to make the hoop, the wreath. So this is the way I'm using these. I haven't tried with glue and the snail yet, but I'm going to use glue dots. So let's get the card out of the way for a minute. Grab my glue dots. Now you're saying, okay, the glue dots are a little wide for this narrow hoop. But what I decided to do, I put it on here and then just kind of pinch that glue dot so it's not sticking out. So it's kind of hiding and kind of flatten it a little bit, like so. And I'm going to put it in some strategic places that I know I'm going to want to be kind of down here, and maybe I'll put one up here. I don't want it showing too much. I want the flowers to be able to cover it up most of the way. So I'm going to put more over on this side. So we'll put one over here. It won't pop up over here. We'll be fine, just as long as we've got about 3 here. So I'm going to try to put them on the left side, maybe a little more than the left. Put that on there. And let's put one, actually, I'm sorry, not more left, a little less than the left, half of it, I mean. I'll think of my words somehow. So we've got one here, kind of pinch that one. And this one pinch, so it's gonna be okay because we're gonna cover it up with the flowers. So I know they're right here. I'm gonna put my finger on them so that way I know I want my flowers over here. So make sure my glue dots are down there. Get it centered around that circle punch and attach it. See, even though this is loose, you can't tell. You have to stick your finger in to notice. It's anchored really well. Okay, now we're going to start putting some flowers on this. Now with the flowers, I decided to use, because this is raised up, I decided to use mini dimensionals, and we're going to leave a little gap. So first off, I'm going to lay these down where I want them. So I'm kind of do it like this. And let's see, this one's probably going to be kind of like that. So now that I know I want this, I'm going to put a dimensional here and a dimensional over here so it's straddling the hoop. So put one there and put one there. And then this one, okay, now I want one. I'm going to turn this over so the adhesive part is on top. Hold this up, put one under here, and do one over here. That way I know I'm getting it on the right edges. The big one was a little easier to tell because I knew that there's the top and the bottom of the flower. With this one, do the same thing. I'm going to put one on this side. Actually, once you get one on one side, then you can turn it over and go directly on the other side. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the big one down first. Grab my paper pierce tool to take the backing off. If you haven't seen me do this before, that one kind of popped off on me. The way you do it, I'll do it on the next one to show you a little better. But I've got those off. And I'm going to put this one about right here, making sure that the gold hoop goes in between these dimensionals. Make sure I'm in the video here. Like that. Okay, now to take the backings off, you stick this in at an angle and scoop it up, like so. You're not going to come right up, you want to scoop it up a little bit. Then it comes off, you've got them all on here and they're not flying all over your house. Okay, now I'm going to make sure I have this straddle the hoop, and I'm going to tuck it underneath this flower. And since it's on with the dimensionals, it's easy to do because they're over here. Oops. I picked up the wrong flower. Pick up the one that you took the backing off of. That's funny. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure those are straddling. Now it's going to go in. I wondered why that wasn't sticking. Now it sticks. Now we'll take the paper backing off of this one. Do the same thing with this one. Make sure I've got those straddling my hoop. Actually, I think I want it this way. Yeah. Stick that under and stick that on. Now with this, I didn't really need anything that long. So what I did, let me grab my paper snips. I decided to make three little ones actually. So let's kind of clip this one off. I think I did it about, actually right here. Okay, where it looks like it'd be okay. See how this is kind of a leaf right here? So I'm going to kind of do it at an angle and curl it so that still looks like a leaf. So there's one, and then do the same thing here. Make this look a little bit more like a leaf. Actually, what I think, yeah, we'll just play around and see which way we like it better. Now this one, I think I'm going to stick about right here. So I always try to figure out where I want them first. We'll stick this one here. And if something looks funny, you can always take off one of those leaves if it doesn't look right to you. And then this one can go right here. So I got all of those from that one strip. And I decided to put these on with glue dots. It's a little hard to even put dimensionals on these, and I really don't want them to be dimensional, so I wanted to go underneath those flowers better. So I'm gonna make sure I put one here on the bottom. And I think that's the only place I put it was there on the bottom. That way you can slide it under here. I'm going to make sure it's on the outside of the hoop though. That way I can get it to stick to my cardstock. There we go. Now this one is on the inside of the hoop. So that little triangle thing there, that's where I'm going to put my glue dot. Stick it underneath there, like so. And make sure you don't cover up your best. And you can also, it can go on over since this isn't attached, it can go over that hoop with no problem. Then we'll put another glue dot, the bottom of this one, and this one I'm going to make sure the glue dot stays outside of the hoop. But then I can angle it so it goes over the hoop a little bit. Now this one's moving on me a little bit. I'm going to put another glue dot. So if it moves, these others are doing fine. This one, not so much. So I'm going to put a glue dot here on my circle. Okay, if I can get off my fingernail and my sticky tool, there we go. Let's do that. We'll hold this down, that'll hold it down. There we go. Now it's not flip-flopping on me. So the outside of the card is done. It's pretty easy to make that wreath. I can't wait to make some more things with these hoops. I can see making a tag, maybe a Christmas ornament next year. A lot of neat things you can do with that. Okay, let's hurry up and do the inside of the card. So grab your 4" by 5¼ inch Whisper White, And I decided to use this stamp here from the First Frost. Take my Blackberry Bliss. This is another color. All the colors I'm using is in that Perennial Essence Designer Series paper. And I decided to put this here, like so. We could stop there, but I wanted to have a little greenery, so I put a little strip of that leaf across the top. So grab that long leaf row again and stamp that across the top. If you want to add more flowers, you can do that, but that's all I did. Put my snail on it, and then grab my card base and put that inside. And so we've got the inside, and there's the outside, so that card's all done. I hope you had fun making this card. I had a lot of fun making it with you. And if you want to stamp with me again, please subscribe to my channel below. It's in the bottom right corner of the screen. Make sure you click that bell icon once you hit subscribe and select all. That way YouTube will notify you every time I upload a video and you won't miss any. And if you want to see more of my creations, you'll want to follow me on my blog at www.createwithchristy.com, my Facebook page, Pinterest page, and Instagram. And there are links to those back down below in the video description. If you live in the United States and don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator of your own, I'd love to be yours. And if you'd like a new catalog mailed to you, click the Contact Me link below in the description. And don't miss out on earning a $50 shopping spree on me too. You can find out how to do that with the Daily Rewards link below. Just click on that and you'll get all the information. Well, it's time to go. Please help support my channel by giving me a thumbs up and commenting below. I really appreciate it. See you in the next video.